Hi, I'm Mark Ollis, and today I'd like to talk to you about food addiction. They say if you're taking a program like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcon, that the first step, or the most important step, is first admitting you've got a problem. Well, I have a lot of patients that say I'm addicted to food and I can't stop eating, but they really don't believe they're addicted like they've got a problem, but they just know that they're having trouble stopping eating, and they do tend to overconsume and make bad choices. What I tell people is, you absolutely do have an addiction, and there is actually chemistry that's happening in your body with certain foods that are causing a physiologic problem. So with salt, sugar, and fat, these three ingredients have been studied a long time ago, and it's been shown that they cause chemistry in your brain that creates addiction. So those three ingredients trigger the same mechanism in your brain as a heroin addict gets when they shoot heroin. So fat, sugar, and salt will cause dopamine production, which stimulates the pleasure centers in your brain and makes you happy. So a lot of people have learned over time to positively reinforce this production of dopamine. If I'm stressed out, if I'm depressed, if I'm even bored, my brain says, well, how can I counteract these negative things that are happening in my brain? Brain says, you know what, if you could get me some dopamine, that'll stimulate my pleasure centers and make me feel a lot better. All right, well, I've learned over time that food over there, that chocolate cake, that cookie, that candy bar, those all have salt, sugar, and fat in it, and I've learned that will get my dopamine kicked up, and I'll feel better. So you'll get this link, this positively reinforced link, that every time things are happening bad in my life, I need to go get these foods. And so you create an addictive problem. But again, the first step in an addiction is admitting you've got a problem. People don't know that this is even happening, and so they don't know they've got a problem. It makes it difficult to react to it. Now, if I told you you've got a heroin addiction, and I said, well, go ahead and you can have a little heroin here and there, it'll be fine. You'd say, you're out of your mind. I can't do that. You know you can't stop heroin. Well, guess what? Salt, sugar, and fat are the same thing. When you recognize this as an addictive commodity and you're seeing that craving sitting in front of you, I hope that you can now think of that as more of a drug, that this is a drug sitting in front of you, and you know that that's a dangerous thing to deal with. But if you just look at it as a candy bar, it doesn't seem that dangerous. But now if you're looking at it as heroin, it seems like, ooh, I know I don't want to do heroin, that's not good for me. So now that you understand salt, sugar, and fat, start looking for it, and you'll find it's in all kinds of restaurant foods, processed foods, fast foods. Why? Because they want to create an addictive commodity that keeps you coming back, keeps you a return customer. Also, these foods you can't stop eating. You're just going to sit there and consume and keep feeding the dopamine to your brain. I tell people, think about all the foods that you couldn't stop eating. Chips, pizza, French fries. What do they all have in them? Salt, sugar, and fat. No one's ever sat down at a vegetable tray and said, oh my God, pull me away, I can't stop eating the carrots. That never happens because there's no salt, sugar, and fat present. So the next time you're having a problem food that you can't stop consuming, or you find yourself eating when you shouldn't be eating, it's probably salt, sugar, and fat. Start looking at that food in a different light, and I hope that will help you to push away and not engage in that bad behavior. I hope this helps you out. Thanks.